Felicitations to Cannabis Universe. It's time to pay heed to the wisdom and musics of the man making the best case to legalize pot. One freedom buzz at a time. So kick back, roll 'em up and load 'em up. Friends indeed, this is the Kingpin, Thorne Peters on pot.
Friends indeed. You the sheeple, that's EWE the sheeple, have twisted the legal system into a network of injustice that violates our rights. Congratulations! You fucking flocktards have screwed the pooch so completely that I have been cast as a rabble-rousing iconoclastic social anarchist because I have the unmitigated gall to demand that the government follow the law when dealing with potheads rather than enforcing an unconstitutional political agenda. And according to the law, growing, dealing, and toking pot is not a crime. Look it up.
Let's assume the cops come in here and they find this, and they're going to charge you with felony
possession for sales.
And you are prepared to fight with them in court at a level that's much higher than just getting busted down at 201 Poplar.
Right.
And it's a much more higher level
while facing more time
of danger of being penalized in a greater manner. However, you can accomplish at either level what you want to accomplish, I can see, by claiming this law is wrong.
Right.
And making
the law is correct. They're violating. They're not even following the law.
Okay.
They're not going to take an inherit the win speech and figure it out. I'm going to go to them and say, you need to follow the law. That's the law.
Right, and you're willing to do it in any higher court or the lower court, doesn't matter. You're willing
I'd like
to
take it to Fed.
because once you get it proved, you've got a precedent. However, here's my question to you. I don't know. I would imagine in the higher court, you would be able to get everything said that you wish to get said, but in a lower court, a little simple thing, they may not give you any time.
Now I'm standing in front of the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
No, I'm talking about the lowest court.
I'm going to start in the lowest court. In that lowest court, if he swings the gavel and I say, Your Honor, no mens rea, please follow the law, and he turns to the first page in his law book and says, oh, yeah, you're right, mens rea. How do we know there's no mens rea? There's an element of the crime missing, mens rea. So we're out. So if he swung the gavel, great. Now if I go all the way to the Supreme Court at the other end of the spectrum, and I'm standing before the great Hall of Justice there, and I say to them the same thing. Mens fucking rea. There's no other way to say it. There's no inherit the win speech. I'm not going to give you statistics about how people die on alcohol, and nobody's died on pot in 5,000 years. Read the Pensao, written 5,000 years ago, the oldest pharmacopoeia. I don't have to say any of that. The law already is in place to protect me from them. And it's called no mens rea. I have no guilty mind. No guilty mind, no victim, no crime, no time. Because of the hypocrisy, antipathy, and anarchy within and around Cannabis Universe, I stand here toking up with steam coming out of my nostrils from the fire in my belly caused by the injustice of a legal system that is persecuting 750,000 people a year for pot. That's one pothead every 37 seconds. It's impossible for me to kick back, chill out, and get my swerve on when every time I toke up I hear the cries for help from hundreds of thousands of political prisoners who have been sentenced to a nightmare over pot. It is a total fucking buzzkill. Well, right, and also that they're down there in the inner city like it's a plan, like it's the plan for the man to keep you down. You keep hearing that, and I know it's mostly nonsense, but let me tell you about the part that isn't. If you're down there and you're searching pockets all day long, you're going to find the joint that criminalizes the poor son of a bitch. I need the burglars and the carjackers gone. You're not finding those peeps. You're finding all the potheads because we ain't really trying to hide. You can smell us from 20 feet away when we got that loud.
Entertainment and enlightenment with the Kingpin, Thorne Peters on pot.
That's what I said. If they legalize marijuana all over the country, It will help get us out of debt. It
Yeah.
will help get this country back on its feet where it needs to be.
Right.
And they should
And it will
do
also
that.
create chaos in the streets as we go through this transitional
People
period.
not wanting to-
Because where are all the drug dealers going to go make their living?
Living at. Yeah.
What are they going to do?
But-
Uh-oh.
Where are they going to
They're going to be out of a job and they're going to need to eat tomorrow and they ain't going to have no money, but they all have guns. Well, so you need money and you can't sell drugs and all you got is guns. I wonder how you're going to eat today. So we're going to have to pay for this chaos. We're going to have to go through a social war on the streets in order when you go through the transition, when you put the drug dealers out of business. It's going to be tough
Yeah,
times.
it's good. It will
Yep.
be. It
But
will be. I
the
agree.
best news is that there will be plenty of prisons to put them in for a very long time. They don't have to get out anymore. The carjacker doesn't have to get out anymore to make room for the pot grower.
Yes.
So that the pot grower is sitting there and the pedophile comes in, rapes your child in every hole, gets out,
He needs
comes
to be
back, and the pot grower is still there. And so,
That's
if
ridiculous.
he's
Yeah,
on probation or he's been considered a
That's
sicko,
ridiculous.
he can get out and come back again. And the beautiful part is that the sicko that rapes your child can get food stamps when they get out of prison.
Yeah, but the drug felon cannot.
Nope.
There is such a thing as LEAP, which is law enforcement against prohibition.
Yeah.
And that means all drugs, because
Right.
they realize that when
Yeah.
you make it illegal, you make it dangerous, you drive
They're
it
selling it in the back
underground.
alleys, people getting
black
killed.
market, the black market.
The black
You
market's a
take the people
dangerous
that
place.
deal in it
Dun, dun, dun.
into a part of
Right.
society that is unacceptable.
Because there's no place to call help. Help. I just got a quarter pound of pot stolen. Fine, we'll take the report, get the guy, and throw you in prison for the quarter pound of pot.
For Fed time.
And,
Yeah.
and you'll get more time than he did.
Yeah, right, because you're dealing pot. He's just a
So
thief.
Who do you
Yeah.
call? Who do
Well,
you
the
call?
point is that there's no money in thievery. There's no money in busting a burglar. There's no profile to it. Big
That's
deal.
my point, dude.
But
And
sex
that's
and
why-
drugs play. Getting right up there. Look at that, 100 grand. Look at that. The double D of buds versus the double D of boobs. Wow.
I'm smelling
Smoking
it the whole
pot.
time.
Isn't that great?
It smells great.
My shirt.
Yes, they do. I'm sure
My
they do.
shirt's
And I'm
gonna
sure the pot smells great too.
I'm sure my shirt's gonna smell great all
I'm
day.
sure it does.
All day. I'm not gonna wash it today. You're so silly.
Jesus Christ and the jackass he wrote on. I've got cocksucking faggots with dick on their breath speaking out against my right to get high. I've got free, desegregated Negroes rising up to deny my civil rights. I've got women who went to the doctor, put their feet in the stirrups, spread their legs, and order that their fetus be hacked to death, marching against my right to get high. Yet they expect their rights to be supported, respected, and embraced, no matter how a majority of people feel about their violation of nature, while they offer an opinion on the innocent, innocuous, inoffensive act of smoking pot that denies liberty, justice, and freedom to a mass minority of potheads. Well, stay tuned. I've got an incoming message just for yous. When you put somebody in jail, their life is ruined. It's not like, oh, I can maintain my apartment or my dwelling or my family while I'm in jail. So the pot bust is devastating, and people shrug their shoulders and say, you pay a fine, you get an attorney, you're good, you get some bail money. Well, a lot of us don't have that.
Yeah, you feed the system. Oh,
Right.
Well, the system's corrupt and it doesn't need to be fed too much more.
Right.
God damn.
Well, so that's why you're the vote to cast. I'll go what?
Yeah, I mean, just stand up and say, hey, we're tired of this. Go fuck yourself.
Enough said. How many of you wanted to spend $50,000 a year here in the city of Memphis to put some guy in jail for a year because while he was at the penal farm, they found a cell phone on him? And you say, well, hey, he violated the rights of the jailhouse. Okay, great. But who's paying for those rights? Yeah. Take away his...
Jello.
Right. Don't hit us with a $50,000 bill because fool got caught with a cell phone. Since 1970, NORML, which stands for the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, has masqueraded as a band of legal crusaders when they are nothing more than the liberal branch of the Drug Enforcement Administration. In 44 years, they have zealously failed to free the leaf. It's like they figured out that if pot was legal, they'd be out of business. So they don't want to abolish these pot laws, they want to reform these laws. It's a good thing for Negroes that this legal strategy wasn't used during civil rights, because nowadays it would be against the law to hang a nigger for looking at a white woman, but you could still cut off his dick to teach him a lesson. How's that for reform? Now, if you legalized all drugs, we wouldn't have to be afraid of the police.
It's used for selective prosecution
Oh,
of a
absolutely.
certain
Lots
segment
of
of
Sure.
population.
Lots of
Under
things.
34-year-old males mostly.
Okay, look at how they've inverted it.
directed into the system.
When they say that as
I don't know
It is
anybody.
civil rights.
I don't know anybody my age is like that's 30 years old or better. Black that doesn't have a weed charge.
Yeah.
Like, just like
that's just the breaking your cherry right there.
Yeah, everybody.
Now, when you do come up then for some other thing, and maybe you do get up in the crosses with
It's
some
the
other
first
stuff,
thing they're like,
we've got that other one on you.
If you had a violation, everybody got a misdemeanor.
Right, now you go to a job and you're told, oh, well, you've got this bust on you. Sorry, we can't hire
But see,
you.
there are two people
So
in
now
this room
what?
that don't have that.
So
I don't
it's-
have
Well, we're
anything.
both
You
white
don't have
women.
anything.
Okay.
Exactly, that's the
Absolutely.
point. It is civil rights.
Absolutely.
Just this week, prosecutors dropped felony drug charges against Peters because they did not believe there was enough evidence to proceed, something Peters believes they knew all along.
There's been enough money spent on my case, including the 9-month-long sting operation and this 19-month wrongful incarceration and malicious prosecution, to have built a wing at a school, to have built a homeless shelter.
Peters is still facing misdemeanor charges for marijuana possession.
They are going to impanel a jury at a great fortune to you, the taxpayers, to try to cover their political bacon.
Watch now as I sum up the war against pot in a tearfully hilarious illustration. All around me, in the skies above, upon the hills afar, on the streets too near, there are pot-sniffing pigs afoot, all committed to the hunt for cannabis. And when they find this profiled plant, they will seize it, and they will incarcerate all who hold it to the fullest extent of the law, all at great cost in time and resources and safety to the public. And once the demon weed has been cataloged, entered into evidence, and held up as a bad example, it will be taken to a government facility and thrown into a raging inferno. So allow me to do my civic duty and save us from the burden this holocaust against pot creates. And I will toke up my fair share of the herb right now. Work with me!
All right, party peeps. It's time for you to go to thornepeters.com. That's THORNE Peters.com. Check out his books, read his poetry, listen to his music, purchase his original designs on Styleware in his gift shop, and enjoy pics of the wild time. All that and more is waiting for you at thornepeters.com. That's THORNE Peters.com. The world's most evocative website.
So until next week on Fab, may you look inward, outward, and upward to find peace, love, and stars. Take care.
We're kicking it with the Kingpin Thorne Peters on pot. Make sure you come again every Sunday at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time. I know I will.
I'll be there for you, babe.
I am a pot smoker. I love smoking pot with smoking hot women.